gamers, what's good? Yo, okay. So, hello, welcome to my new
We've got 2 laps to get the
iRacing
job
series. This is gonna be called Breaking Through. This is episode 1, and this is gonna be my road to 2K iRating. Because I'm terrible at the game and I want to get better. This is really just gonna be an iRacing series dedicated to pushing myself and just generally improving at racing in general.
The track
I really
temperature's
wanted to
falling.
start this
It's
series
now
after
99
watching
Celsius.
a video. Don't mind me just going off track. I wanted to start this series after watching a video about climbing in iRacing by Get Good Racing, and he was really talking about how a lot of the top rated pros really spend a lot of time watching back their VODs and their telemetry data and really, you know, spending more time doing that than even they do just racing. So this is kind of my way of doing that, is just by forcing myself to upload these, whether people watch them or not. It's more just for me to watch and understand my own driving and to watch myself back and just force myself to do it, and have a little fun with it and have people want to watch, or if they want to watch they can. So basically I'm just going to go through, I'm going to try to do 2 races a week. We'll see if I can actually keep up with that, but I want to do 2 races a week, and I just want to watch myself back and comment, and give myself feedback essentially, and if other people want to give me feedback as well, comments are more than welcome. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So with that being said, let's actually get in the lap. This lap was not the greatest so far. I kind of struggled coming out of 4 and 5 in the S's, but I kind of made back up for it. Not terrible. So we're still up on time.
The leader has just done on 19.89.
This is also, I forgot to completely mention, this is week 8 of season 1 for 2025.
On 19.66.
Obviously we're at Road Atlanta, and we are in the Ferrari 296 GT3, doing a GT3 series. I don't know what the official name is for it. I should probably know that.
19.36.
But it's just mostly all GT3s, so that's what we're doing today. I ran a 19.7, which isn't terrible. Up until this point, I hadn't really been running much faster. This is actually about where I was at, was low 19s. It's kind of what I had been doing all this week. I didn't get to race much during the week, but during the weekend I put in a lot. Saturday and Sunday I put in a lot of time. I did a lot of these races. I only recorded a couple, but this was the first one that I actually recorded and did pretty well. So right now I'm really up on time. I had a really good couple sectors, and I'm about literally a second up on my time right now, which is huge. And up to this point I really hadn't run any 18s, so I was feeling really confident. The setup was just starting to really stick. I feel like I was bleeding a lot of speed off in a lot of places, especially into the final chicane. I feel like I was really struggling there, especially with consistency. I was very consistent, and I just swing it into the corner because I feel like I was starting to lose grip. So 18.8, which currently put me on pole, although there's still a good almost 3 minutes left in the session, so we'll see if I can keep that. But I felt really good about that lap. I feel like I definitely could have gone faster in some places, but overall not terrible, especially for the kind of split I'm in, a 1680 split. This is probably one of the higher lobbies I had been in all week up to this point, so putting it on pole there felt really, really good. I feel really confident about this track personally, especially this track I know very well, as I'm just watching my lap back currently. I feel very comfortable at this track just because It's a track that I've been to in real life, which I feel like always helps, and those tracks are usually the ones that I understand or have like a bit better knowledge on. Sebring is another one of those tracks that I feel really comfortable at. And I usually don't feel comfortable at Coda, but now that I've been there, I went there last year for the WEC race. I'd probably feel pretty confident there now that I actually understand the track. Because before, it was a bit harder to memorize it. Once you've actually been there and you've walked around the track, it's a lot easier to remember and to know where you need to be on the track. So just watching my lap back while qualifying is completing. Again, just kind of looking. I'm really just trying to figure out what I could have done better. I know I'm bleeding speed off a lot into like every corner. My braking is a little rough everywhere. But overall, I'm not feeling bad. I feel a lot better than I did. I watched a little bit of somebody else's hot lap in the Ferrari here, and it just to figure out what gears and things I needed to be in. I was trying to take this in fourth. I ended up kind of throughout the week just taking it in second, or taking it in third. I felt third gave me a bit more bite into the corner. I didn't feel like I was going out as terribly wide, but I was definitely losing a little bit of speed, maybe like half a tenth. So it wasn't terrible, but for the consistency to just keep myself faster, or keep myself consistent, I wasn't too worried about losing half a tenth or two. I feel like my exit there could have been a little bit better. I feel like I could have been a little wider, but overall, not bad. This was my first lap, so I'm just trying to figure out where my mistakes were. Because this lap was definitely not as fast. About a full second. I feel like you can cut a lot of the corner there, but it's really iffy because if you do on that little inside part, you're really risking off tracks, and that happens to me quite a lot. And I ended up losing a lot of safety rating this week due to off tracks, especially in that corner. But yeah.
That's the end of the
session.
session.
Some more about the series.
Well done.
I think most of the time, because I don't race with my mic in, I use earbuds instead of headphones that have a mic on them. So you probably won't get a lot of my actual comments while I'm racing, but my comments after watching myself back. But if you have any suggestions or any other ways you want to see, any other things you want to see, please let me know in the comments. Again, this is more for me and watching myself back rather than other people watching it. But again, if other people want to watch it and enjoy it, comments don't hurt. I'm always open to suggestions. Anyway,
good luck all.
Just lining up on the grid currently, trying to figure out what's going on. I'm looking around, probably trying to figure out what cars are around me. Mostly, I'm probably just looking at the different cars around me, trying to figure out, where people are going to be faster than me. I found out that like racing this series a lot this week, or at least a lot in 2 days, you kind of figured out what cars were really good in the S's and what cars were better on the straights and would catch you. And you just kind of figure out where every car has its strength. And it was usually fairly consistent between drivers. All the Porsche drivers seemed to have a hard time through the S's, but a really easy time in all of the chicanes. So little things like that. So I'm probably just looking around right now, trying to figure out. That was kind of my little trick. The Corvettes, same with the Corvettes. They felt really solid through the S's, it seemed, but not quite as much. And like turns 6 and 7, they were kind of struggling.
10 seconds.
So I'm probably just looking around and trying to figure that out.
The track temp is 29 Celsius. The air temp is 19. 40 minutes. This is a rolling start. Stay in the pole row in the right column. Safety car speed is 77 kilometers per hour.
So again, starting on pole, feeling pretty good. We'll see how it goes. A little bit more background about myself, and especially with iRacing. I've been doing iRacing specifically for about 2 years. I've been racing for a total of almost 6 years
Manuel,
now. Mostly off and on,
really
very off and on for a while. But I've always enjoyed racing. I always watch racing. Now I'm just really trying to get into, you know, improving at it. I'm tired of being last all the time. My friends when we race in leagues and things. So that's why I'm really trying to get to 2K. But my peak right now, or my current, is 1.6. I'm not exactly sure what it was before this race, but it was about 1.6. So we're not terribly far. We're only about 400 irating away, which isn't bad. But we'll see how long it takes. We'll keep doing this series as long as it takes, whether that's 6 months or another 2 years. We'll find out. But yeah, 2K is a real hard barrier to break for most people, so that's kind of my starting goal. And once we get past that, I don't know, we'll see if we continue. Maybe we'll make it 3K as the next goal or whatever else, but it's always a start. So that's my goal, is just kind of work slowly towards that goal, just slowly work towards improving, watching myself more, watching other people back more, and trying to figure out my differences. So I might comment more on like my braking and things, especially because I know that's where I really struggle. I've always had a hard time with braking specifically, and carrying speed through corners, especially the big corners. At least that's where I feel like I'm weak. I'm sure somebody else would watch this and tell me completely different, but you know. Alright, and pace car is away. And I'm really looking behind me here, trying to get a really good start. The nice thing about Atlanta is if you're starting on pole, it's real easy since you can control the pack after the safety car is gone. It's really easy to kind of get a nice breakaway and just try to really work in the tires and try to start warming them up and getting them up to temperature. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take the lap super easy, just using my lead that I've gained through the nice start to just slowly warm up the tires, slowly get them up to temperature. Try to make as few mistakes as possible.
Nice start.
Being a bit cautious there, but it wasn't terrible. I think I could continue to trail brake through that corner, but it wasn't awful. It wasn't a terrible exit. Now as I'm going through, I forgot to change the tires before I ended up starting this race, so I had to go back and fix that real quick. And I wasn't sure exactly how much fuel I was going to need, so I wasn't going to bug with that just quite yet. But while I had the gap on the straight, didn't have to think about it, might as well fix it, because we don't want to accidentally take tires and take a little too much time. So again, I kind of overheat the tires right there. I just carry way too much speed in. I end up not losing too much. I end up getting a slowdown, but I can just kind of lead it through the S's and just kind of back this guy up and just try to get back into my groove. Cold tires just really caught me out there, so I'm just going to try to settle in and try to keep warming them up as much as I can, as quickly as I can, so that I'm not losing more time. I get another track cut here, and it's really rough. I just cut a little too far inwards. Again, I think I just got thrown off my rhythm there, so I just really want to find it back. But I'm trying to catch up to this guy because I know that I'm probably just as fast, if not faster. Braking just late enough there to kind of cut the corner without getting track cut. I was doing really solid in this race about it. Some of the other ones weren't as great, but you know, it is what it is.
The leader has just done 119.
So I'm just slowly watching that guy behind me, trying to make sure I'm breaking as much as a gap as I can, just looking ahead now. Do this terrible turn 2 and 3. I hate that corner so much, but it's so fun when you get it right. I really like taking a bit of that inside corner of 5 to just kind of rotate the car just a little bit. I was doing really good with it in this race. Again, some of the other races I kind of struggle with that, taking it a little too safe. But it really helps getting the car rotated, and you can see this in the lap times. It was definitely helping them. Going purple through most of Sector 1 right now. I'm really starting to break that gap to the car behind, starting to catch up to this guy in front. Like I said, I started getting my confidence back once the tires warmed up a little bit. I felt like I could definitely catch this guy. Just baked in just a little too much there. But that's okay, we didn't lose too much from it. Really just flinging the car around this corner here.
Okay,
and hey,
your refuel window will open.
That's a 19.1. That's the fastest lap run.
19.
So we were feeling really good once we got the tires warmed in. Just cutting enough of that curb again, not getting it off track, but just gaining the speed over it, letting it settle the car where it needs to be. Just flinging it over the curbs, feeling really solid now.
Keep your exit speeds up.
Again, just watching the little things, my brake traces, I feel like I could do a little bit better through the big corners. I feel like I didn't need to brake as hard, but just continue to brake for longer. I feel like that's my real issue, is that I just let off the brakes a little too much. Now I really just need to practice, you know, trail braking a little bit more just through the mid corners. Instead of just, again, doing that here where I just completely lift off. And you guys can see all my real telemetry that I use during the race. I know it's very cluttered and I have a lot of things going on. But I like to personally, I know different drivers have different styles. Personally, I like having a lot of information. I like knowing where to look for it. So for me, I have my relative along with, you know, what's it called? I'm blanking pretty hard. Race labs. I have my race labs relative as well. I like having both at the same time. Because if I'm looking for something specific, like my gears, I don't have to, or I can look at it while looking at my black box relative. I can see my lap time there as well instead of having to look up to the corner to see it. But I also have my track maps, and I do keep the telemetry on as well, so I can see, as well as a fuel calculator, obviously. Comes in a lot handy. Comes in a lot. The fuel calculator is probably the one reason why I use race labs. I don't know what I would do without it. Especially having the little bar. I like the little bar that shows. Super clean. Just starting to catch back up to this guy. He's made a couple mistakes. I'm just trying to figure out where he's quick. Just trying to look if I can find a gap maybe that I can exploit later once I catch up to him a bit more. Because again, I'm just barely running faster than him. I mean, not even 6/10ths or 6/100ths, which is crazy that we're just running that close together, and our paces is the exact same. But I am still running faster than him, and I do want to use that while I can. I've got a lot of laps to do it, but they'll start to dwindle pretty soon. So just pushing, just trying to keep as consistent as we can. Try to wait for him to make mistakes. We're not even worried about the car behind us anymore. I'm just kind of ignoring him at this point. I don't care what he's doing because I'm faster and I want to catch this guy. Taking a little bit too much curb there again, but you know, it is what it is. It didn't feel terrible. listening to that throttle there. Love the sound of the Ferrari, by the way. Beautiful sounding car. Amazing looking car. Gives really solid feedback. You have to kind of get used to it. I think it drives a little bit differently than the 488. But once you get used to it, I really liked it. It feels responsive. It feels heavier, which is a problem I have in my favorite personal car, which is the Audi R8. Sometimes doesn't feel as responsive. It feels very light. At least the force feedback does in iRacing compared to something like ACC or LMU. Whereas in this game, the Ferrari just has a lot of bite in it for whatever reason. The force feedback, you feel a lot more. Not sure how realistic that is, but you know, we're sim racing. We work with what we get. Starting to kind of drop the lap times now. The fuel's dropping off. The tires are still feeling good. I haven't overcooked them too much. We're not starting to lose time from them. We're just keeping them just nice and fresh.
The gap in front is now 0.6.
Saving them for late. Taking back that fastest lap. Love that. Putting in an 18.9, which in terms of race pace for me was really good. I was not doing this in any other race. I don't feel like I was dropping 18s. But for whatever reason, I was just feeling really confident in this race. I wasn't worried about recording, which you'll see later. I feel like once I start thinking about it, I'll make some mistakes. But for my first time recording, kind of knowing that, like, you know, I'm gonna watch this back myself, and maybe others will too. I wasn't really concerned with the pressure. It doesn't feel like. I really just got settled into my groove. I was just kind of doing what I knew how to do. Pulling a gap from the car behind, pulling closer to the car ahead. So we're still feeling good. I'm trying to get in that slipstream. I'm not quite in it, and the Corvette was a little bit faster on the straights, I think, than me. But we're starting to catch up slowly but surely. Starting to close that gap as we start to see traffic ahead as well, which might come into play. We're not sure yet. Just had a really bad exit there.
Alright, Tristan, going out on track limits.
Just absolutely destroyed the lead that I had tried to gain back. Full second behind this guy now. I'm going to have to catch back up. So, got a load of work to do. Now I'm worried about this car behind. I'm trying to block just enough. I realize that he's not going to go for it. I braked a little bit earlier than I probably needed to. But I was trying to be safe because I wasn't sure if he was going to send it or not. Now just trying to defend again. Trying to get back into my groove. Realize that I made a mistake. Trying to just ignore it and just keep doing what I knew how to do. Sliding the tires just ever so slightly. That's going to heat up the tires a little bit more than I probably would like. Probably give me a bit more tire wear, which I feel like I usually am not terrible with. But with the fact that, you know, I need to now build that gap back, cooking the tires like that probably isn't going to help me. But again, I was trying to be fast. Sometimes when you start trying to go fast, you start making mistakes. So I need to stop trying and start actually going faster. So we'll see if I can get back into my rhythm. Again, just I started losing my mark there, and I just started you know, focusing too much on the things around me. What I was actually doing. So again, making another little mistake there. Not helping the safety rating too much, but time-wise didn't kill me too much. Another little mistake here. The little mistakes are just starting to pile up. You know, this car's starting to pull away more. He's at 1.6 second gap to the car ahead. You know, and again, I'm starting to kind of psych myself out and realize I'm like, oh, I'm making mistakes. I'm gonna keep making those same mistakes. But I've really been trying to just kind of work on, you know, okay, I made a little mistake. Let's fix it. let's figure out what we're doing wrong, reset, just keep doing what I know how to do. Just a little bit too deep there on entry again. Not getting a track cut for it this time, or losing too much time. It's still not ideal. Not ideally where I want to be. I think I could also be taking more curve to that right hand on the entry, staying a bit straighter when I brake. I was really cutting back in, and I think I could have done a lot better of that. Just in general too, not even just like there in this race specifically. A little bit too far on that outside curb, which just unsettled the car just enough to throw it off just a little bit. Making me just have to lift just a little bit more than I probably normally would like to. I'm still just making the same mistakes, you know, just slightly taking too much of this corner, or slightly missing my braking point by that much. And I'm just really not doing a good job of adjusting to the car and seeing how the car feels. I think I was starting to feel a bit of that tire wear there after all these mistakes compiled together, and now it's just really throwing me off, and I just need to figure out and readjust the car and figure out what she wants.
There's an incident in turn 10. Looks like it's Parker.
Big incident ahead, but we managed to avoid it, no problems. Unfortunate for that guy.
You've just done a 119.58.
And now we're just slightly slower than the car ahead now, looking at lap times. He ran a 19.5. I also ran a 19.5, but he was a 4 and I was an 8, so just 8/100 spawn, or 4/100 spawn, which isn't terrible. But when you add it lap by lap, you keep making mistakes like that.
Just ignore him.
That gap's just going to go wider and wider. Now I'm just really struggling with the car. I'm just trying to fight it again, instead of, you know, just letting it do its thing, just telling it where to go. I'm starting to worry, I think, more about that car behind me now instead of trying to catch back up to the car ahead. And usually if I'm trying to catch somebody, I have an easy time focusing, but if I'm worried about the car behind, I usually start making mistakes. And I think that's what's going on here. Obviously, I'm not saying much because my mic wasn't on, but I think in the moment I was starting to worry more about that car behind me catching me and trying to keep this position. And I think I just have to refocus, recenter myself. We'll see if we can do that next time. If something similar happens, we'll just learn. I think I was starting to get a little impatient, but this is where I start to get it back. I think I can start to refocus and just get back in the groove again. Taking just a little too much there, but I had the idea. I knew what I needed to do. And I think that was a good representation of my in-car language, my car's body language, showing that I was ready to refocus and not worry about the car behind. Sliding the car just a little bit. I think I was in second gear, so I was getting a little bit more wheel spin than when I'm normally in third. Just kicked out the rear ever so slightly.
119.30.
But we're just starting to get the feel again, starting to claw our way back, slowly but surely. See, now the lap's looking good again. Up 2/10 on my delta. Sliding it just a little bit, losing it there. Again, I'm just starting to make the same mistakes over and over. I can't really figure out how to fix it. Again, I think it's just me losing focus, which I'm pretty bad about. I lose focus very easily. But overall, still not doing terrible. It's probably also about this point where I start thinking more about, as I just absolutely cook it in the corner again. Again, these same little mistakes. He also has a little slide coming out of the corner, which allows me to catch back up. So now I'm really looking at trying to push. Now I'm like, okay, if I can just lock in and figure out, you know, small things, I can catch back up to him for sure if he's making mistakes like that.
Fastest lap for
So that's what I'm going to start doing. You can see I'm starting to just slowly claw my way back now that he's made that mistake and opened himself up. Going back to what I was saying before, though, I think it's about this point where I was probably starting to look at strategies before he made that mistake. Pit stop wise, I think beforehand I was just going until the car was empty, and I was doing a really good job. I don't know if it was just the Ferrari. I think it was mostly the Ferrari just being good on fuel, at least around here. But I felt like I was going at least like a lap or two longer stint-wise than everyone else, because this is a 40-minute race, and you do have to pit for fuel once. Otherwise you won't make it to the end.
We need to pass it.
But I think this race I had decided that I wanted to pit one lap earlier, because I wanted them to come in after me. I wanted to undercut them and just see if that could gain me time through the pit stop. Having to not deal with traffic. I don't like coming out of the pits and having somebody chase me. I like chasing somebody when they come out of the pits, because they're on, you know, they're not feeling quite up to speed yet, so it's just a bit easier. So I think that's why I decided for once to actually go for the undercut here, because normally I don't do that. Normally I would just go for the overcut and try to stay out as long as I can. But I'm just slowly clawing my way back. He's starting to make some more mistakes. I'm starting to feel just a little bit better. I'm still making small mistakes here and there, obviously, because I'm terrible at the game, but making do with what I got. Just right on his bumper. I'm starting to notice that he's getting really squirrely on exits. And here's where I start to change my fuel, figure out, you know, how much I need to add. I'm really debating if I want to chance it and go for 25 liters, or if I want to go 26. I end up choosing to go 26 liters just to be safe. I really don't think I needed to, because I had a couple liters at the end of the tank in every race that had up to this point, so I was really questioning if I want to chance it with the fuel calculator, because it's always a little bit off. It tries to give you just a little bit more than you probably need to be safe, which is fine.
We're halfway through. We estimate 4 laps remaining on this tank.
When I'm trying to be oddly specific about how much time I spend in the pit lane, I want to use, or I want to have just as little amount of fuel as I can. Again, he's starting to get really wide on these entries, spinning up the tires on the exit just a little bit. I'm really trying to start studying him and studying his moves. I feel confident about my laps again, so I'm trying to just figure out where he's slow or where he's struggling.
Okay, Tristan.
And he had a really good exit there, but before I was looking at it a little squirrely. So I was looking at making a move somewhere around here if I can get close enough. Starting to brake just a little bit later, causing me to make mistakes. Again, another track cut. Not sure I got a track cut there, but
7 incident points.
Jim calling me out there for my 7 incident points.
3 laps of fuel remaining.
Altered track cuts. But that's just how Road Atlanta goes. It's really easy to get track cuts around here. You have to be really careful. But again, I'm on the attack. I'm pushing hard. I don't mind getting the track cuts. It's not bothering me. Although my safety rating says otherwise. just small mistakes, but it'll compile up later.
Come on, don't make it easy for him. Make
So
it go
I'm
the
trying
long
to
way
avoid
around.
them as much as I can. He's talking about the car behind me, but again, at this point, like, I'm not worried about the car behind me at all. I am chasing this guy. I'm a shark in the water, and I do smell blood after his large mistake. But he's just slowly starting to pull ahead again. It's because, again, I'm just making small mistakes. But I know that he's also probably going to make some mistakes here and there, and I just have to allow that to, you know, catch me back up little by little while staying consistent. We're starting to really get towards that pit window here. The car's starting to slide a lot more.
Is now 1.2 seconds.
And you can really feel that in the weight transfer of the car.
Your last lap time was at 119.55.
And again, this is probably where I'm starting to question, do I want to go for the undercut or not?
Okay, Tristan, 15 minutes left. That's 15 minutes.
So yeah, I decided to duck in for the undercut here. And this is where the title of the video comes from. I thought I slowed down enough. I didn't. In the car, you can't hear it, but I was fuming. I was very mad at myself. Yeah, you can see it in my body language is there, just shifting the car. I was extremely upset. Wasn't sure how it happened at first, but like when you go back and watch it, you can really see I just did not. And then on top of that, I just make a mistake. I just pulled barely too far forward.
2 laps left to come in and serve
but at
this
that
penalty.
point, it just didn't even
Front
matter.
left, 85%.
So that's where the title of the
Rear
video
left,
comes from, if
89.
you're wondering. We'll never know if the undercut actually worked or not. Unfortunately, in hindsight, I think it would have been fine. But yeah, really upset with that. Was doing really well up to this point, but now just losing like 30 seconds to the pit lane is just not what you want to do. While this penalty is serving out, more about this series and about the channel in general. I think, again, I want to upload 2 of these a week. I think that's my goal for myself, is to just do at least 2 races that I record and upload and watch back and review. Whether they're good or bad, whether I win or lose, whether I crash out or not, literally, or in the game.
Disengage limiter.
I just want to upload 2 a week. Now, in terms of series and stuff that I'll be doing, personally, I really like prototypes. So if I can get my A license back, I'll probably just be doing IMSA and the LMP2s and the GTPs.
Car number 30.
But for now, especially with Bathurst and things coming up soon, I'll probably be doing a lot of GT3 stuff. And I also just like the GT3s. They're fun. They're good cars. But also, I'll probably be doing a little bit of Formula here and there. I really like the Formula 4s and the Super Formula Lights. So I'll probably be doing some series here and there. You'll see some stuff like that, even though it's not going towards, you know, the right safety rating now that, or not safety rating, irating, now that there's 2 different splits there between road and Formula. I still want to do them. I think they're still helpful and they'll still help me improve. And even NASCAR, you might see some NASCAR here and there, whenever, or oval. Occasionally that stuff will pop up too, probably if I have a good week where I just feel like for fun, you know. It still helps me improve, I think. I had a really good race last night at Daytona in week 9. Is when I'm recording this. So I had a really good week there. So I might come back and I might, you know, do that, or I might upload the special events
Car right, clear right.
This guy's coming out of the pits. I just decided I don't want nothing to do with him. I went ahead.
The leader,
I'm very mad at this point. You can probably see it in my driving. I'm starting to be very aggressive on my inputs. And I'm just trying to make back that time because I see that I'm in 21st from second, and I've never been more mad in my life at myself for such a small mistake. But again, it was an avoidable mistake. I knew, you know, that there was a little bit of relay that it gives you in the pit lane, but I was pushing it just a little too far. Just didn't brake quite enough, and now I'm paying for the consequences. So trying to catch up. I know I'm much faster than all of these guys. Obviously, that's why I was in second to begin with. So my ego is probably tempting me here, and trying to get me by these guys as quickly as I can. And you'll see that caused me some problems later.
Gap to P21.
Again, I'm braking a little bit later, just trying to buy as much time as I can back, even though probably not helping much.
P20.
Little slide there in the rear. Not exactly sure how that happened. I'm sure once I watch it back a third or second time, or a second or third time, I'll be able to understand a little bit better what happened there. But again, small mistakes. I probably just took too much to the curb. Just trying to be too aggressive again, which, you know, is still losing me time, which I don't need right now if I'm trying to catch back up. Even though I am faster than these guys, I still don't want to be losing time where I don't have to be.
10 minutes remaining, 10 minutes.
But again, I'm frustrated. I'm human. It happens. Just got pushed through it and refocus, calm myself down. Again, do what I know how to do. That's probably going to be a big theme throughout all these videos, especially when I make mistakes. Random bumper in the middle of the track. Not sure how that got there. Hopefully Marshall will quickly come out and get that.
Your lap times are increasing. Come on, keep your focus.
Some wise words of wisdom from Jim there. We'll see if I listen or not. See, now I'm just not feeling quite as confident as I was before. Just starting to take everything a little bit more easy. I've gone through all the stages of grief at this point. And now we're just accepting it and taking it easy. Still trying to gain back that time though. I can still see I'm catching these guys. So if I can, I still want to do that. And they're also fighting pretty hard, so you know, that'll catch me up pretty quick as well.
Incident in turn 1. We think it might be Dennis. The gap to P21. Behind is now 1.9.
I think this is a big moment here with Dennis and them having a bit of a scuffle. Dennis not very happy in the chat, top of the screen.
A license.
Very unkind words as I get a little off track. Dennis very not happy. Neither is Gabriel. Not going to try to pronounce that last name. I think I actually do go back and rewatch this incident at the very end of the race, so we'll see what happened there. Why these guys are so upset. Till then, we're just gonna ignore what they're saying. We don't really care. Hopefully, I don't have to blur anything out. Hopefully, I keep it a little civil. Again, I see myself slowly clawing back here, catching up to these guys ever so slowly. Not many laps left to catch these guys again, but doing what I can.
19.
Massive track cut there again, just taking too much of that curb on the right, or on the left-hand side of the entry. Unsettling the car just enough to kind of, you know, not quite turn me the way I wanted to. But again, I'm making mistakes because I see I'm catching these guys. I don't have much time left, so I'm just being very aggressive again. I go through these very pendulum motions with my driving of, oh, I'm catching these guys, I need to go fast to, it's fine, I should just slow down and take my time.
3.0.
But, back at it again, I'm starting to get aggressive on the throttle again. I want to catch these guys. I notice there's not a lot of laps left to get up to them, and if I can get back some of that irating that I would be losing, wouldn't hurt. Bit of argy-bargy going on here. These guys are really starting to fight now, which is really helping me claw my way back, catch up. As the Porsche spins there, really tough for him. He just kind of cooked it kind of hard into the corner. Feels bad, man. But you know, that's racing sometimes. I don't think he got pushed off at all. Like
Okay, Kristen, the next car is car number 60, A license.
But it allows me to catch back up, so I'm getting closer and closer.
5 minutes to go.
And I'm just going to try to get as many places back as I can. Again, you can see me getting very aggressive on the throttle and just realizing that was a little too much. I'm going to back off there.
16. Ahead is now 1.7.
But again, I'm catching. I'm sharking the water. I smell blood again. And I'm going for it. Again, my ego is starting to get to me here. It's that Lambo sends it just straight down the inside of the corner and somehow makes it stick. Not sure how he did that.
Keep it nice and smooth. Come on.
But well done on him.
The 18. The guy in front is
beautiful move.
Car number 19. A license.
Now it's my turn to do the same
this guy.
Just going a little too deep again.
Just had a warning for cutting the track.
I think again I just didn't hold the brakes long enough. Didn't turn in too early either, which probably didn't help.
The gap to Edsel in front is now 1.3.
Only about 3 or 4 laps left, so I'm really starting to push now. I really think I can catch this guy. I notice he's really slow through here. So I definitely think I can catch him. And I mean, look how quickly I caught him. So now I just gotta try to find a way around, just see if he leaves a gap just wide enough for me to fit in. That looked a lot better than the throttle. I feel like I got on the throttle just a little bit too early there. It gave me just a little bit of wheel spin that I didn't need.
2 minutes.
But I'm in a slipstream now. I'm starting to catch it. Again, I know I'm faster, so my ego's starting to get to me. I really want to get by this guy. He does some really good defending here. Makes me just have to slam on the brakes, send it into first gear. So really well defending by him, but at this point I'm starting to get really frustrated. I'm like, I just want to get by this guy. He needs to let me by faster.
Your lap time was
my ego is starting to take hold a little too hard.
Sector 1 is 0.30 off the pace. Sector 2
And again, same thing here where I want to send it just right down the
right.
inside, but he just blocks it off just enough. So, gonna have to wait to try again. I thought I had it there, but he just blocked it off just enough to where I had to left. He's still trying to defend here. So he just takes a little bit of a line, his line's a little off, which slows me down just enough to where I can't make any move through here. I'm just trying to work on my exits, make sure my exits are good so I can catch up and get by him, but it's just not quite working. I want to stay on the outside here because I know he's going to try to defend to that inside. He really doesn't like me being there. I just get slowed right up through the corner since his line was just a little off. I said a little off, it was very off. And now we're going into the white flag. 1 lap to go. Gotta make the move stick here. I have just a slide there, which isn't going to allow me to catch back up here.
Last lap.
I'm not going to be able to make a move around the outside like I wanted here.
Sector 1 is 0.7 off the pace.
Again, it's just making little mistakes that are big enough for me to catch back up. I'm just right on his bumper. I'm getting super frustrated. I can't find a way around. I just make another big mistake there. Just going way too wide trying to get
11 incident points.
I was just trying to stay as close as I could. Stay a little too close, I think. So at this point I know that there's probably no way of me catching back up unless he makes a really big mistake, which I don't think he's going to make at this point. Not big enough for me to get him, especially now that he knows I'm not close enough to catch him. He's probably not too worried about me anymore. So into the final corner from first. It's an 18th. Not the prettiest race I've ever done, but a learning experience nonetheless.
18th. That's it.
Loss of 19 irating, which isn't terrible. Could have been way worse, but I didn't feel too confident about the ending there. And it was all just because of the pit stop. You know, if I hadn't had that, who knows what would have happened.
That's the end of the session.
Congrats to Christian for the win there. Having a really clean race. Now I'm just trying to go back to figure out what happened to these two guys. So let's just see for funsies what was going on over here. I'm trying to figure out just how to remember controls and how they work. I'm trying to find the exact lap, and I think I've found it. Obviously flubbing my controls though. So let's see what happens. So it looks like this car ahead is a lapped car. He looks like he's taken a much worse line, had a bad exit. This guy tries to stay down the inside. I don't think he's entitled to the space there. I think they would have crashed regardless. It did look like and I think you can see it in my cursor here. I think I very quickly blamed the Ford there, the Mustang, but I don't think that Mercedes helped himself. I think he started to lose it a little bit, started to slip, which is what caused him to kind of turn back in. You know, if you watch it again, but not terrible. Trying to see where I was in all this. Trying to see my mistake that I made in the pit lane. So again, just re-watching it at the time, trying to figure out what I had done wrong, what had happened. I'm watching my throttle application. I just didn't hold the brakes long enough, or hard enough, you know. Is what it is. It's a really hard pit entry there. That's what happens. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Again, I know it's more for me, but if you do enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, do all that boring stuff. And hopefully I'll see you. I'll see you again sometime this week. Thanks, guys.